Hey everyone, welcome to my November monthly plan with me video. I finally filled up my entire light purple bullet journal notebook, and so now I'm moving on to this beautiful dark teal notebook. The theme for this month is sweater weather. This is a collaboration theme I'm working on with Natalia from Natalia's Tea Time, and I'll show you a sneak preview of her adorable November pages in just a moment. For the quote page this month, I found the quote, "A sweater is a hug you wear all day," and I thought that was super cozy and fitting for this theme. I decided to use two different gray Micron pens for a majority of the outlines on these pages. This is a super thick fine liner and I absolutely love drawing with it. And here I have a similar fine liner but in a lighter gray shade. I really loved having both options for this theme. In addition to the grays, I thought that some dusty pinks, blues, and gray blues would complement this cozy theme well. So those will be the main colors on these pages. I kept this page very simple, but I've been enjoying playing with different fonts and lettering compositions like this recently. I'm just adding some light shadows around the word here, and adding a few highlights, and then we'll be ready to move on to the main cover page. But first, I just wanted to give y'all a quick preview of Natalia Tea Time's super adorable November monthly pages. Her Plan With Me video is available now, and I'll leave a link to that below so you can check it out right after you get done watching this one. Natalia is super talented and also creates really cute sticker sheets and bullet journal sticker sheets that go along with her theme each month. So if you know me, you understand why we became friends instantly. So I'll leave all of her info below where you can watch her videos, check out her Instagram, and also purchase her adorable stickers if you're interested. It's been super fun connecting with her and working on her themes, and I hope you'll enjoy her art just as much as I do. For my cover page, I had the idea of a cat cozied up in a sweatshirt that was far too big for him. This is one of those times where I had an idea in my head, and then when I went to sketch it, I had no idea how to actually fulfill the idea. Because I often draw animals, I actually have not drawn clothing very often at all. I wanted it to be clear that the cat was inside a sweatshirt, but I also wanted it to look like the shirt was sort of laying on the floor, so in the end, this is what came of it. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I'm okay with that because I always make my own rules when it comes to art anyway. So I think I mentioned in the last video that I had purchased a set of supposedly pastel markers, and I was excited to test them out and see if they were actually pastel or not. And I'm happy to report that a fairly decent portion of them were actually pastel colors and worked out really well for this theme. The heart in the thought bubble is one of the new colors, which ended up being kind of a light dusty pink that is super gorgeous. And then I actually used 3 other markers from the set for various blues, and it offered me a lot of variety, which I really appreciated. I'll pop up a picture of the color swatches really quick here. You can see about half of them are pastel and the other half kind of missed the mark, but overall the colors are really pretty and cohesive together. These markers were super smooth to use and laid down color very easily, and I'm very happy with them. They were super affordable, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I really like them. The only downside I found was that they don't have any color organization by a number or name. Their cap colors are fairly accurate, but as with all markers, cannot be fully trusted. So for that reason, I created my own number system and printed out stickers with my Silhouette cutting machine and attached them to each marker. This way I can easily tell which marker is which color by the number assigned to it and by matching it to the color swatch sheet that I showed you previously. And as usual, everything I've used in this video will be linked below for you. Here is a close-up look at the quote page and the cover page. The next pages we'll be working on will be the calendar pages. The new markers I was just talking about also have a fine tip side to them. I would say it's a little bit thinner than the Tombow fine tips, but very similar otherwise. and I'm using the same color blue as on the quote page to write in November at the top of this calendar page. This font that I had chosen was intended to be very stick straight lettering, so towards the end of writing November, I found my letters were getting a bit wonky, and so I tried to fix the letter E and straighten it out a bit, knowing that I'd have to come in with a white paint pen afterwards and try to fix up the original messy lettering. It worked out pretty well, and this is just one of those instances where I just had to decide whether I wanted to stick with the letters looking kind of wonky, or attempt to clean it up a little bit with the white paint later. I feel like mistakes in our bullet journals just need to be weighed out as they happen. Sometimes trying to clean up a mistake actually can draw more attention to it, but I think I'm slowly starting to learn what I can get away with fixing and what should just be left alone. Most of these little mistakes are never big enough to ruin an entire page anyway. On the calendar, I used a gray and 3 different shades of blue to color in the days of the month. And now I'm just using the light gray fine liner to write in the actual numbers. Using 4 colors seems to work out perfectly on the calendar because then the colors all line up diagonally across the page. At the top, I'm coming in with this dusty rose Tombow color and writing in all of the days of the week. Then I'm using this lighter dusty pink color from the new marker set to add some lines to the note box. This is where I really love having a variety of markers so that I can usually find a light and dark version of each color for various purposes on these pages. At the bottom here, I'm drawing in various balls of yarn and a kitty knitting. I kind of got sidetracked and forgot that the theme was sweater weather and just leaned fully into yarn and cats. I think a big reason for this is because I just recently adopted a little kitten, and so the yarn and cat theme just seemed to emerge. For those of you who have been watching my videos for a while now, you know that my main character is a gray cat called Gray Kitty, and he shows up on a majority of my pages. And I'll be drawing him soon on this page as well. When I went to the shelter, I was looking at a couple of brown and black cats, and the kitten I ended up getting was even listed as a brown kitty. But he is in fact a gray kitten. And I think because they kept calling him brown, I didn't even realize that I had brought home my main character until my mom pointed out that he was in fact a gray kitty, just like my character. So I just had to mention that because I found it so funny that I've been drawing my future cat for all of these months and that I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until well after I had brought him home. God works in funny ways. So hopefully I will remember to include more sweaters into the sweater weather theme throughout the weekly pages, but for now, my new cat Lil Bean has somewhat taken over the theme with a bunch of balls of yarn. These balls of yarn were a little tricky to color in without moving the journal a whole bunch, because I decided that if I followed the lines of the yarn, I could avoid the usual streakiness that comes with water-based markers. Probably not my prettiest colored in theme, but it is what it is. This week has been insanely busy for me, so unfortunately my drawing practice has suffered quite a bit, and I'm really looking forward to setting aside some time just for myself to create in the upcoming week. My friend Tatiana opened the doors to her Kawaii drawing club again this week, and it's been super busy but also super rewarding bringing in all of these new artists and getting to connect with them. I'm really grateful she offered me a job helping her with customer support, and it's such a blessing to be one step closer to my dream of being able to do creative and artistic endeavors full-time. Outside of that, I've been trying to think of what kind of theme I should make for my yearly pages, which I'll probably release towards the beginning of December. It feels crazy to be thinking about 2025 already, but this year is really starting to fly by fast. And although I don't personally believe in waiting for a new year to set new goals, I do always find it to be an exciting time to reflect on what's happened during the year and set goals for the upcoming one. I'm beginning to draw a gray kitty over here, wrapped up in a bunch of yarn. I found this photo over on Pinterest and I thought it was super cute and decided to redraw it with my own gray kitty character. I think for now I'll keep calling him Gray Kitty and not change his name to Lil Bean because I do see them as two totally different personalities right now. Gray Kitty is very calm and composed while knitting in this picture, whereas Lil Bean is currently somewhere behind a stack of DVDs in my entertainment center exploring the great unknown. His personality varies between sweet cuddly baby and I don't even know who you are right now bouncing off of the walls. There is very little in between. So even though I brought home a Gray Kitty, I think him and my character Gray Kitty are not exactly one and the same. I'm coming in with this Tombow brush pen now and giving Gray Kitty his classic gray color. It's always a little bit intimidating to color in his face, but I think I'm getting a little bit better at keeping the lines straight and not making the streaks so distracting looking. At times, I just want to use the Tombow watercolor technique that I've been playing around with lately because that eliminates any streaks, but I often don't want to risk having the pages become warped from the water. So it's always a little bit of a toss-up with whatever medium I decide to use. I really wanted to keep these pages simple though, because I knew I would have a lot going on this week and not so much time to spend on my bullet journal pages and editing later on. I'm actually really enjoying keeping my themes more simple, and a few of you have reached out and mentioned that you like how simple they are because you feel as though you can recreate them on your own, and that is super awesome to hear. I think in time, it could be fun to create some simple step-by-step bullet journal spreads for this channel. But as usual, I have about a billion different ideas going on in my head at any given time, and I just need to stay focused on one at a time and get good at it first before moving on. But let me know if step-by-step bullet journal tutorials are something you'd be interested in the future, and I will keep thinking on it. I'm just coloring in this final ball of yarn here and having a piece of the string wrap all the way around the note section. There were just a few items to add highlights to in order to finish up this page. And this is an up-close look at the completed calendar pages. Moving on to the next pages now. I like to switch up my pages depending on what's going on in my life. I tried a line a day log previously, where you write down what you're up to each day, and discovered that I live a pretty mellow life and don't always have much to report on. So this month, after adopting my new kitten, I decided to do a day in the life of a bean, which will be a line a day about what my little boy is up to and also has a place to track his age and weight. Currently, he is 11 weeks old and he weighed 2.5 pounds when we left the shelter last week. So I'll weigh him again at the start of November, and then we'll weigh him again at the end of the month to see how much he's grown. I've drawn in a long strand of yarn here under the title, and then I'm creating the areas where I can track Bean's age and weight. Oftentimes I'll do a daily log of sorts like this, something in written form, and then I also like to include my regular trackers somewhere that show the entire month and can be ticked off day by day. So I have those at the bottom of the page here. Usually I put the written log on one page and the trackers on the other, but I thought it'd be fun to vary that up a bit, and I decided to put the written log across the middle of both pages and my regular trackers at the bottom in balls of yarn. Here I'm just highlighting the days of the weekend so that it's easier to determine which day of the week it is. Sometimes life gets busy and I forget to fill in a day, and this makes it easier to make sure I'm on the right day of the month. I'm beginning to draw some wonky balls of yarn for my trackers. Luckily, yarn is textured anyway, so I could get away with a lot of imperfection here. I also had to decide where to finish drawing the lines for the strands of string, since there's a lot going on in these trackers, and I ended up creating specific boxes for the title of each tracker, as well as for the calendar box below it, where I'll be able to tick off each time I complete a habit. This month, I'll be tracking reading the Bible, my art practice, creating for YouTube, and working on my Etsy shops, because I really want to start making more sticker sheets that go along with these themes. I would really love to go back and make a sticker sheet for each theme that I've made this year, because I really enjoyed all of them so much and think they all deserve their own special stickers to match them. So that will probably be one of the big goals for next year, and really getting back to focusing on creating art products for my shop. My sticker shop was how all of this started a couple of summers ago, and I'm really eager to get back to it and give it the attention it deserves. I'm using this light pink Ohuhu marker to color in the title and calendar section, and I'll be using a light blue color for the other balls of yarn. Then, after adding in all of the dates, I'm writing in the days of the week in blue and pink so I won't lose track of which day of the week it is when tracking things. I tried using blank trackers at one point with no days of the week or numbered days of the month because they make the page look cleaner, but it was hard to keep track of what day I was supposed to be tracking. So mini calendars are the way to go in my book. And now I am back to the task of attempting to color in these balls of yarn while trying not to draw on the mini calendars or leave too many streaks. October was a super busy month. I'm so happy that I was able to get caught up on my Plan With Me videos for the first time ever, and I also accomplished all of my other goals this month. Sometimes being super busy keeps me more productive because I don't feel like there's any time to slack off. But I will say I am super excited to treat myself to some sushi and relaxing and playing Stardew Valley in the upcoming days. After all of my hard work this month, I feel like I deserve to unwind for a few days. I feel like November will be much more mellow, even though I'll be creating just as many videos. But I finally feel like I'm finding a rhythm. It only took a majority of the year to figure out. Being a creative is one heck of a journey, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm just adding a few shadows under these balls of yarn, and that will finish up these tracker pages. I think it'll be super cool to have these pages to look back on about the first few months of Bean's life. And now it's already time for our final flip through of this monthly sweater weather theme. Please be sure to check out Natalia's version of this theme because it is so cute, and show her some love on her YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video.